From the University of North Carolina School of Journalism and Mass Communication, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics, this is Sports Extra.
The Sweet 16, it's always a cool sporting event, even if you lose. You see fans from across the country come out to support their teams, no matter where the games are played. Carolina is known for traveling well and had a lot of support in LA.
Staples Center is hallowed ground in Los Angeles. The outside is adorned with statues of California greats Wayne Gretzky, Magic Johnson, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Among the stars, there was a sea of colors: Wisconsin and Arizona red, even Duke blue, Michigan yellow, and the maroon of Southern Cal. What? But come on, you know what stood out the most: Carolina blue. Andre Thompson has lived in California since 1992 because of his work in the military. He's a Tar Heel born and bred.
I'm from a small town called Fairmont, North Carolina.
He's made sure the UNC legacy continues.
And I got all my kids, they're Tar Heel fans to the bone.
So you have families like the Thompsons, but there are also old fans and young fans and man fans and Jordan fans. Then there's Kelly and Lynn Huffman. The young married couple is attending school in Southern Cal, but they're from where exactly?
Western North Dakota, close to Bismarck.
Oh, okay, got it. Kelly grew up a Carolina fan and apparently it rubbed off on Lynn. She's excited for one player in particular.
I mean, JP Tokoto is always fun.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's always cool to see big dunks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kelly says all the fans come along with the Carolina brand.
Everybody knows Michael Jordan, so I feel like you see tons of Jordan jerseys. I can count the number of 23s I see right now. So then just the Tar Heel name is pretty synonymous with greatness, in my opinion.
Unfortunately, Carolina lost a tight game against Wisconsin. Most of all, the Carolina Blue cleared out by the Elite Eight, but a couple Tar Heels stayed around.
All right, so being from UNC, a little bit bitter about the loss against Wisconsin, so it looks like I'm going to change my allegiance real quick to Arizona, see what they can do against the Badgers.
And it's over. The Wisconsin Badgers move on to Indianapolis.
Well, that didn't work out. Wisconsin won and is going on to the Final Four. But Thompson says win or lose, it doesn't really matter. It's who you watch it with that counts.
But 10 inning Tar Heel game with my son, that's the pinnacle of it all right there. And come here, Noah. This is my boy Noah Thompson, and he's 12 years old, and this will be his first Tar Heel game, and it's a priceless to have him here with me. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now.
In Los Angeles, I'm Luis Fernandez reporting.
Some people, well, a lot of people came to LA for the game. Some came for the sunshine, but one group came for all that and brought a whole lot more.
The big dance. No, I'm not talking about the NCAA tournament. I'm talking about Tom Montgomery, Ron Bradford, and Zap Zappola. Meet the Wrecking Crew.
Maybe I can, maybe I can't grow a mustache like this. It's up to you guys to decide.
They work for a search engine with a logo that's almost as colorful as their outfits.
We probably use Bing, but I think Google's really coming along.
That's right, Google. But don't let their bosses in on their trip.
We're playing a little hooky from work. Don't tell our bosses. They would not be having this at all right now.
But was the road trip worth the risk?
Absolutely. We're on vacation. We'll be here for the weekend. LA's beautiful. We're down from foggy San Francisco, so we're soaking in the good vibes.
And they were soaking up the sun, too.
Weekend's definitely here. Sky's out, so the thighs are out. I've been practicing for this moment for a long, long time, waiting for a beautiful lady to saddle up next to me so I could spin around and round and round. Dream came true.
Coming to watch Xavier play in the Sweet 16 was another dream of the Wrecking Crew.
We're here for one man and one man only, the one, the only, Matt Stainbrook. We're the Wrecking Crew, here to support him. He's a beast.
And basketball wasn't the only thing putting some boogie in their shoes.
We're all jazzed up. If we have a couple overtime games, we're happy with it, as long as we can get to the bar afterwards and have a nice cold brouhaha.
After Xavier lost, I'm guessing they had more than one brouhaha.
Now, unfortunately, the Carolina players have some extra time on their hands these days, but have you ever wondered what the guys do when they're not on the court? Reporter Lucero Cifuentes finds out.
Carolina basketball's legend, Derry. With 5 national championships, 29 ACC championships, and 17 current NBA players, it's easy to see players like Marcus Page as celebrities on campus. But some of the players' closest friends want the student body to know that at the end of the day, Roy's boys are Carolina students, just like us. Junior Taylor Sharp met Carolina basketball players Marcus Page and Bryce Johnson when he worked Coach Williams' basketball camp in 2012. 3 years later, they're roommates and best friends.
And over the years, I guess we developed a stronger relationship as time went on. Definitely have some of my best memories with a lot of the guys on our basketball team now.
Basketball assistant strength and conditioning coach James Askew has a similar sentiment.
Honestly, I think they want to be viewed and treated as regular college students, and once you get to know them, you kind of see them as that. I don't even view them as any different from any of my other friends now.
We constantly see the guys doing formal interviews and killing it on the court, but surely they have some quirks, right? Sharp gives us the inside scoop.
Within our apartment, Bryce cooks for us every now and then. We always try to have family dinner nights. Bryce brings his grandma's spaghetti recipe out. That's his specialty. We have a Nerf basketball goal in our kitchen. You'll see us playing horse or having little dunk competitions on the Nerf basketball goal.
Boys will be boys. Despite their campus fame, the Tar Heel basketball players cook, eat, study, and spend time with friends like any other college student. In Chapel Hill, I'm Lucero Cifuentes, reporting.
When a snowstorm hits North Carolina, most students are excited for canceled classes and Netflix marathons.
But for one group of Tar Heels, snow means it's time to shred. Reporter Kelly Glendenning has the story.
Drop it in!
Starting a ski and snowboard team in Chapel Hill was a slippery slope. What began as a 2-member competitive team in 2010 has grown to more than 50 members registered with the United States Collegiate Ski Association this season. The team travels to several different mountains, ranging from Bryce Mountain in Virginia to Mount Bachelor in Oregon. Each mountain offers a wide range of competition, including downhill slalom, border cross, and freestyle.
I found out about ski team through a friend. At that time, there were 12 people on it. It was just a really hyped up group that wanted to go out and ski and snowboard.
Competing against schools with mountains in their backyards has been an uphill climb for the team. While the Tar Heels don't have the facilities to practice on the slopes weekly, they still stand out in the USCSA Southeast Conference, with athletes qualifying for both regionals and nationals.
But hey, we're getting better and better. We have the top 2 freestyle men's skiers in the conference. We have we're top 20 snowboarders, so we're doing good. Doing things.
While performing well in competition is its primary focus, the team makes sure to take the time to enjoy the camaraderie. Members come from all over. With graduate students and foreign exchange students in the mix, getting to know each other is half the fun.
I always say it's not about the racing so much, it's about the people you go with. So when we get the racing done, some of the best times I've had is riding with the people on the team.
Hey guys! Hey! I'm way sicker than you! No! I'm the best skier on the mountain!
Performing well isn't too shabby either. In Bryce, Virginia, I'm Kelly Glendenning reporting.
Connect with us online by liking the Sports Extra Facebook page and following us on Twitter @SportsExtra_UNC.
One of the criticisms of major college football is that once their competitive days are over, the players' institutions just forget about them. Susanna Black is live at Kenan Stadium to tell us that's not always the case.
That's right, Molly. After falling on hard times, one UNC football player is back in Chapel Hill, and it's his brothers in blue that are taking care of him. Tate Frazier has more.
This textbook pitch and catch between Oscar Davenport and Octavius Barnes propelled the 1997 UNC football team to a Gator Bowl win. The man making a major block on that play, starting senior tackle Ryan Hoffman. According to a story in the New York Times, Until recently, Hoffman was homeless and jobless. This revelation spurred one former Tar Heel player and current staff member Ron Brewer to reach out to his brother in blue.
The first thing I did was I called David Thornton, and David Thornton is a former player here, and then David Thornton called Jeff Saturday. And so it just started to roll from there.
According to offensive tackle Landon Turner, that bond between players in the Tar Heel program starts from day one.
I was assigned a mentor. Guys like Jonathan Cooper and Cam Holland both looked after me and kind of showed me what I need to do within the football program.
And it's not just on the field that matters.
The people at the student development office, like Cricket Lane, are really good about making sure that the young guys get taught something.
Cricket Lane has a soft spot for the big boys up front.
I love the O-line. I tell all our football guys, love the O-line. They just go out, they do their job, and they don't need the fanfare.
The effort now is to keep tabs on Tar Heel players long after the tackles and touchdowns.
I know for us, we're in the process of working on a big database with everybody.
Brewer also feels a responsibility to welcome back former players to the program.
My emphasis has been letting those guys know, hey, you're welcome here at North Carolina.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Tate Frazier reporting.
Around signing day, college coaches are chasing big-name high school football players trying to get them to join the team, but not everyone gets recruited. I sat down with a few senior walk-ons to find out what their Carolina football experience was like. There are 22 players on the field during a football game, some with big names like Marquise Williams. But what about the guys who rarely step on the field? Senior Luke Hevner explains life as a walk-on.
Well, you don't get paid, first off, is how it works. So you go through all that, you got to get on the team, you find a way, maybe the coaches find you and talk to you and they're like, hey, we like you, you're really good, but you're not good enough for us to pay you to be here. So then they bring you on as a walk-on.
By pay you, Hevner means getting a scholarship. Senior Carson Wooten knew walking on was still a big commitment.
When I got here, I knew I was going to have to work really hard to even play on the field. A lot of people don't know, but at Division I football, it's hard for walk-ons to even get a shot.
Fellow walk-on Connor Gonett agrees.
That you got to work harder than everybody else, and of course you're not getting paid, you're not getting the free meals, and it's always you got to fend for yourself, kind of.
But that didn't deter Hevner.
Obviously, I'm going to tear it up academically, and I'm going to tear it up on the gridiron.
Starting with his first practice.
Charles Brown, which was a senior cornerback, blindsided me while I wasn't looking, and that was my first practice.
Now finished with his senior season, Hevner has another way to keep football in his life: coaching.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because you've been doing it your whole life and then you just end up, you're not playing anymore. But if Larry wants me to come in and revamp this offense, all he has to do is call. And I'll come in and I could be right back in it, just up in the press box instead of on the field.
Hevner told me they'd have to pay him at least $3 million to make Carolina's offense #1 in the country.
5Ks are a popular way to raise money and awareness on UNC's campus. One club paired up with an organization that has Tar Heel roots to host a very special 5K. Kayla Gibson has the story.
You see them in the tar pit of Keenan, in the risers of the Dean Dome, on the sidelines of Fetzer. At any and every game at UNC, Carolina Fever is there supporting student athletes. Recently, Fever supported something different for their first ever 5K. Co-chair Camden Freeman says the idea for the 5K was about moving from the stands to the community.
It started as just a way we want to have some sort of project to give back.
That's when Carolina Fever decided to hold the Fight Cancer 5K with local Childhood Cancer Foundation versus Cancer, started by former Carolina baseball player Chase Jones. Co-chair Russell Van Zomeren says Fever was drawn to the organization because of its mission and its connection to UNC.
For us, it was an opportunity to get involved with somebody who was clearly passionate about what he was talking about because he had lived the experience himself.
That experience? Jones himself had cancer his freshman year at UNC. He says his experiences in the Children's Hospital are what led to his mission to make a difference. During his time at Carolina, Jones and the baseball team worked to raise money to support children with cancer.
UNC baseball team and I kind of rallied around the idea that we can help out these kids. We have to help out these kids.
And the successes of raising money with Carolina baseball turned into Jones starting his own foundation after graduating in 2011.
I started Versus Cancer after really seeing how easy this was at North Carolina and how receptive the community was to really anybody putting themselves out there to help out a child with cancer.
Since then, Versus Cancer has been holding events with organizations across the country. The mission is simple: 50% of the proceeds to research, and the other 50% to local children's hospitals. And for Van Zomeren, he's excited for Carolina Fever and the UNC community to be part of such a great cause.
It's like Tar Heels helping Tar Heels, which is one of my favorite things to be involved with.
And helping those Tar Heels is the reason that Van Zomeren says he wants the Fight Cancer 5K to be a new Carolina Fever tradition. In Chapel Hill, I'm Kayla Gibson, reporting.
Freeman says the Fight Cancer 5K was very successful, with almost 150 runners raising more than $2,000.
Paige Nielsen will be team captain for women's soccer next fall. She's an outstanding player on the field. But as Jenny Chu reports, there's so much more to her story.
4 years ago, Paige took a huge chance and gambled on walking on to the most storied program in the history of college athletics.
I was like a recruited walk-on. He wanted me to come here, but he's like, there's no money left.
Since then, she has been leading goal scorer and will be team captain this coming fall. It has been no easy feat for her to reach this point. Her mom, Kathy, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma 7 years ago. After chemo and a stem cell transplant, she was declared cancer-free. In September 2014, Kathy was again diagnosed with stage 4 lymphoma.
She was a single mom. She raised 4 kids on her own. She put herself through college, coming from a very poor family. Then she got diagnosed with cancer twice. She's my hero.
While all this was going on, Paige continued to thrive as a player and student, while flying cross-country to be with her mom as much as possible.
The only thing she said was, I want you to keep playing and doing your best at what you do, because that's what I live for. We sometimes get sad about it, but we're like, all right, what's the next step?
A real credit to her and the fact she never quit on herself, obviously continued to support her mother and never quit on her team. And the thing that's really cool about Paige is you would never think she was on top of a mountain one day and buried the next, because she always seems to have this wonderful spiritual resilience.
There's just a lot of things going on, but when I wake up in the morning and go to practice, there's nothing better. There's not a better feeling than being with you girls. This is my family, and it's sad that I'm graduating in December.
No one on the team wants to see her leave. Full disclosure, on a personal note, I am one of her teammates, and I can tell you firsthand how much of an inspiration she has been to me and a positive life force for our team. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're all looking forward to her leading our team next season. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jenny Chu, reporting.
Everyone here at Sports Extra is thinking about the Nielsen family. We wish them nothing but the best. We'll be right back.
Here at Sports Extra, we take our jobs pretty seriously.
Roll Alpha. Take Alpha.
Live at the Dean Dome following yet another dominant win by the Tar Heels. And now I'm at Fetzer Field. That's fine. We'll talk some women's lacrosse. We'll talk about how Sydney Holman has led the team, and now...
Don't believe me, just watch.
Who left Molly in control of the board?
We may just be students, but we hold ourselves to the highest professional standard.
Just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
Here on Sports Extra, we don't just talk sports, we experience them firsthand. And reporter AJ Nwoko shows us one club sport that's sure to get you up and dancing.
The basement of Woolen Gym is usually silent and dim, but on Wednesdays and Thursday nights, the competitive ballroom dancing club is moving and grooving to the music. And for dance instructors Dominique Barnes and Jordan White, it's more than just dancing.
Fun, exercise, friends, boyfriends.
Passion.
Joy. Joy. That's it. That's ballroom.
Ballroom.
We have on-campus lessons here for free that anyone can join. Even members of the outside community, they don't have to be students or anything.
White says for competitive ballroom to work, it takes two to tango.
There's a lot more of interaction between just you and another person. And even though we have a team here, it's still couples competing against each other.
And that means partners are necessary, but it's something members like Danielle Morea say the club needs more of.
I don't have a partners. When I have to practice, I practice a little bit with one guy, a little bit with another guy, and that's it. And most of the time I'm practicing by myself.
Morea says men shouldn't be afraid to put on their dancing shoes.
Guys think they can't dance or ballroom is not for them, but that's not the truth.
So what you're saying is even someone with a little dancing experience as me can learn how to dance?
Yes, yes.
So I'm going to take Danielle's suggestion and try and get in on the action with the dance instructor, Dominique. Even though I wasn't the best, with a little footwork, I proved that even I could get down and dance. But if my skills haven't convinced any guys to join, there's one other incentive.
Unlike any other time in your life, men are pursued and sought after in ballroom.
If it's always been your dream to have some girls pursuing you,
Right.
give it a chance, yeah.
Lots of hot girls too. We have lots of nice looking ladies on our team, I'm just saying.
So if you need a club to get footloose, competitive ballroom is saving the next dance for you. In Chapel Hill, I'm AJ Nwoka reporting.
AJ said that while he liked ballroom dancing, he's always wanted to learn how to pop, lock, and break dance. So, Alana, have you ever tried ballroom dancing or any dancing of that kind?
No, I've never given it a go. It's something freshman year. I signed up for it thinking I'd go to the club, learn some cool steps. Never actually carried through with that. What about you?
So actually, when I was a kid in Little Rock, as we talked about earlier on the show, I was actually in cotillion. I was forced by my parents. Yeah.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, that was awesome. And so from 6th grade all the way through 9th grade, I took ballroom dancing classes every other week with manners. Everybody had to wear suits. The first time I actually went, I had to get somebody else to tie my tie because my father was at work. So we had to go to the next door neighbor's house, get him to help me tie the tie to go to the first one. And then, it has actually helped me a lot in my life because now I'm an excellent guest at weddings, as it turns out.
Well, the next time I get invited to a wedding, I know who my +1's going to be.
Absolutely.
The sun hasn't been the only thing heating up the tennis courts. UNC women's tennis team has been on an impressive winning streak. Let's swing over to our Jasmine Cornwell.
When you've reached your 500th win, you know you must be doing something right. Women's tennis coach Brian Calbus has been at Carolina for 12 years. Like any successful coach, Calbus knows what it's all about.
Great players that really have a tremendous work ethic and have a passion to improve and get better and have the team first mentality.
Calbus was a 4-year varsity player at the University of Notre Dame and became the first assistant coach for the men's tennis team. His success during his tenure helped fuel his drive to later become a head coach.
And we got to the NCAA finals my last year there, so that really helped me and inspired me to be a head coach.
The gender doesn't matter. He's gotten it done on both sides. What's his secret?
R stands for responsibility, E counts for excellence, S stands for the service part of it, the P is doing things purposefully, E is earning it, C is commitment, and the T is togetherness. So those are things that we kind of as a group are trying to strive for.
He's made an impact on so many players. Senior Caroline Price has been there for the past 100 wins. She knows how lucky she is to have Calbus as her coach.
He's the kindest individual. He never will raise his voice, but yet he motivates you and he gets the most out of you. I always feel so lucky to go to the school and to be coached by him.
Calbus has so much experience, but he's still pretty young. How much longer can he do this?
Coach that needs to be feeding, needs to be playing, needs to be picking up balls and being active. So as long as I stay active and enjoying it, I think I'll do it for a while.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Jasmine Cornwell reporting.
Carolina student athletes participate in a wide range of sports.
If you like speed, hot, nasty speed, Maggie Miller says we can add one more to the list.
Get ready to shake
and bake.
Did you ever think that the person sitting next to you in class could be a professional race car driver? Me either. I caught up with Ben Albano to learn more about life in the fast lane.
It's basically a street car that you could buy at a dealership right now turned into a race car is what I drive. The tracks, instead of NASCAR where you're racing in an oval, it's tracks that have left and right turns.
Like me, you might be wondering how someone gets into this sport in the first place.
Basically, I lived in England for a year and I fell in love with cars and racing and started go-karts when I was little and then gradually moved up to racing full-size cars.
Albano and spectators alike know that a sport with such intensity and speed comes with inherent risks.
Crashing, unfortunately, kind of comes with the territory of racing cars, and you try to limit it as much as possible, but again, racing is something you can't really control 100% of the time.
But he's not just focused on the road. Albano has to make sure he doesn't crash and burn in school.
Juggling racing and school is definitely difficult, but I know that school always comes first, and racing is something that I want to do, but I always have to put in my schoolwork before I go on the track.
Even though school is his top priority, Albano has racked up enough trophies to make even Ricky Bobby jealous.
I think the motto, if you ain't first, you're last, is kind of sad but true. I'm very competitive, and I always beat myself up when I'm not first. But at the same time, in the series that I'm racing in, you have to be putting in at least podium finishes every weekend, and some weekends you're not going to get the win, but it's not about the immediate win of that specific race, it's about winning the entire championship.
For Albano, racing isn't just a sport, it's a lifestyle. In Chapel Hill, I'm Maggie Miller, reporting.
Don't forget to tune in to our sister shows, Carolina Week at 5 p.m. every Wednesday on Time Warner 24 or Campus Channel 34, and Carolina Connection at 8:30 every Saturday morning on WCHL 97.9 FM.
Here at Sports Extra, we don't just cover sports, we play sports.
Welcome to this week's edition of Sports Extra. Today we're talking Georgia Tech and that insane squashing of those Bumblebees. First of all, JP Tokido, I love you. Wow, that Superman dunk where Marcus Page threw it up and he grabbed it and just soared through the air, slammed it right in our faces. Nothing is better than that, ladies and gentlemen.
They call me the J Rice of the J School.
So I used to play a little tennis when I was younger, but do you want to know what my real sport was?
Tell me, Molly.
Foursquare.
Ooh, our Michael Coe shows us this game isn't just for the schoolyard.
The Pit is the central hub of the Carolina campus. In fact, one campus myth says that if you stand in it for 24 hours, you'll see every single Carolina student.
But you'll also see this, the UNC Foursquare Club. And don't be fooled by the notion that Foursquare is merely child's play. These guys are serious.
Founder Travis St. Bryce says the idea came to him as a way to hang out with friends.
I think what inspired me would be that I kind of saw the square here, but I didn't see anyone using it. And Foursquare was a big thing with my wrestling team back in high school, so I just wanted to bring it here.
And what started out as a small game between friends has mushroomed into a group with more than 40 likes on Facebook.
Well, obviously it did start off with just a few of us, but then it became just a few people we saw, and they were like, can we join? We're like, yes, please join us.
And Travis's close friend and fellow club member Luke DiGiacomo says the appeal of the game comes from nostalgia.
I think a lot of people, they played it back in elementary school, middle school, and haven't played it since, never crossed their mind, and they see it and they go, oh wow, that looks like a lot of fun. I remember doing that. I had a lot of fun.
But no game of Foursquare would be complete without yours truly. And I wasn't alone. Some fellow Sports Extra Foursquare enthusiasts joined me. In Chapel Hill, I'm Michael Coe, reporting.
All right, well, we're gonna go over and play some Foursquare. Thank goodness I wore the sneakers today. About to take these two down.
That is it for the best of edition of Sports Extra. Thanks so much for being here. These guys won't be coming back, unfortunately. I'll still be here in September, though. We'll see you guys then, but I gotta go kick their butt in some Foursquare now. Have a good night.